Okay, so if you've ever seen Denis Villeneuve's film Enemy, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You finish the movie, the screen goes black, and you're just left there with this feeling, this massive, baffling mystery that you just can't shake. Right? These are the big ones, the questions that keep you up at night. How can there be two identical men living completely different lives? And, of course, what in the world is going on with that giant spider? Now, you've probably heard all the psychological theories, about repression or infidelity, but what if the answer isn't psychological at all? What if we've been looking in completely the wrong place? I know, it sounds a little out there. Physics? To explain a movie? But what if the film is speaking a totally different language? In this explainer, we're going to dive into Enemy through the lens of quantum physics. Just stick with me here, because it might just be the key that unlocks this whole crazy puzzle. All right, let's get into it. Section 1, a quantum physics analogy. We're talking about the new rules of identity. To really get this, we have to basically throw our normal, everyday rules about what a person is right out the window. We need a whole new framework. So look at it this way. In our normal, classical world, a person is, well, a person, a solid, singular thing, like a little particle moving through space. But in the quantum view, nothing's really solid. A particle is just a temporary ripple, an excitation in a much bigger, invisible field. So what if a person is more like that? Not a particle, but a whole field of potential. So from here on out, this is our guiding principle. We are not watching two separate men. We're watching one single system, one field, that's giving rise to two totally different quantum states. And these states are unstable, they're interconnected, and they're constantly on the verge of collapsing. Section 2, fields, not people. Let's deconstruct Adam and Anthony. Okay, let's take this idea and apply it directly to our main characters. Let's see them not as people, but as something else entirely. First, a really quick but super important definition from quantum field theory. A particle isn't really a thing. It's more of a temporary vibration in a field. Think about a wave on the ocean. The wave is real, you can see it, but it isn't separate from the ocean. It is the ocean, just in a temporary vibrating pattern. And that brings us right back to our guys, Adam and Anthony. They aren't two separate particles. They are two different vibrations, two different waves, bubbling up from the exact same person field. This is why they look identical, because they're literally from the same source, just vibrating at totally different frequencies. And this table just breaks it down perfectly. You've got Adam, he's the low energy state of this field, stable, predictable, kind of quiet. Then there's Anthony. He is the high energy state. He's impulsive, he's chaotic, and he's fundamentally unstable. See? Not two different people, just two different energy levels of the exact same system. Okay, section 3, two states, one system. Now we're talking superposition and entanglement. And this is where things get really weird and really, really cool. We're going to bring in two of the most famous, most mind-bending concepts from all of quantum mechanics to explain how these two states actually interact. So, superposition, it's that wild idea that a quantum system can exist in multiple, even contradictory states at the exact same time, right up until the moment you observe it. Before Adam sees Anthony in that movie, he's just Adam. One person, his world is simple. But what happens when this person field is finally observed by itself? That's the moment. This second Adam lays eyes on his double, that's the act of measurement. His observation collapses the wave function of his identity. And what was once a single potential is now forced into two separate observable realities, the Adam state and the Anthony state. And here is the absolute heart of the conflict. The entire tension of the movie mirrors a fundamental rule of physics. These two states are incompatible. They interfere with each other. The system simply cannot handle both of them existing at the same time. It's unstable. One of them has to go. And that leads us to entanglement, Einstein's spooky action at a distance. It's where two particles get so linked, they basically share one existence. Whatever happens to one instantly, and I mean instantly, affects the other, no matter how far apart they are. Because on some deep level, they were never really separate to begin with. So think about the film. We watch Anthony, our high-energy, chaotic state, get into that horrific car crash. His world just completely disintegrates. He's gone. Now, in a normal story, that would have zero immediate effect on Adam. But Adam's world immediately twists and distorts. There's no phone call, no news report. The change is instantaneous. That isn't just story logic, that's entanglement. The two states are just two sides of the same coin. You destroy one, and the other is changed in that exact same moment. All right, Section 4, the unseen force. Okay, time to talk about the spider in the room. The spider is a field. We're going to take our quantum lens to the film's most unsettling symbol. But to do it, we have to stop seeing it as a creature. The spider isn't literal. It's a symbol. It's the invisible background field that quantum physics says governs our entire universe. Think of it like gravity. It's a force that's everywhere, shaping absolutely everything, but is itself completely unseen. So let's just give it a name. Let's call it the spider field. This is the underlying structure of this whole quantum system. It's the set of rules. It dictates how this identity can behave, how it changes states, and how it all ultimately comes crashing down. And you can even break down what it does using real physics analogies. It's like the Higgs field, giving atoms stable identity, its mass, its inertia. It's also like a gluon field, the strong nuclear force, literally binding the two states together so they can't escape each other. And it just appears, suddenly and unpredictably, just like a probability wave does. It's the very architecture of their reality. Okay, Section 5, the grand finale, the inevitable collapse. Let's bring all this together and look at that absolutely shocking final scene. Because with this new understanding of fields and states and collapse, that final moment just suddenly clicks into place. Adam walks into the bedroom. He's ready to just slip right back into Anthony's high-energy life. And he finds the spider. But this time, it's small. It's compressed. It's cowering in the corner, terrified. This isn't just some random weird image. This is a perfect visual metaphor for a wave function collapse. The system has finally resolved itself. The chaotic, unstable, high-energy Anthony state is gone. It has collapsed. All of that potential, all that scattered energy, has now been condensed down into a single, localized, observable outcome. A single, stable state that Adam is now trapped inside. So, in the end, if you stop thinking like a psychologist and start thinking like a physicist, the whole film transforms. It's not about two men. It's about two possible states of one identity, flickering in and out of existence, fighting for dominance. And it leaves you with this final chilling thought. Maybe the true mystery of Enemy isn't about the double, but about how shockingly fragile our own sense of a single stable self truly is.